Today for the podcast, we got 6'3" guard out of Desert Mountain High School, Zach Anderson, coming with us today. Zach, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. It's good to meet you. Good. I've been watching, of course, a lot of your tape over the last week prepping for this. But so let me get started. So you guys had Section 7 during this past week. What was the experience like playing, some of the top teams from, of course, the state and then from California and all over?
It was pretty good. We came out first game, played pretty good basketball together. It's crazy playing in front of all these coaches. Just crazy environment. Great environment to play in. We didn't win as many games. We ended up going 2-2. We came out in the first game pretty well, and then in the second two we didn't play as well together, and then finished off with a good win against Gilbert.
Yeah, and I mean that's a team that was highly touted last year, with the talent they had.
Yeah.
Going 2-2, how do you feel you guys could have done better? You talked about didn't play well as a team or didn't play as well as a team as you hoped.
Yeah.
What are some things, coming in as a senior that you hope to bring to the table, for the season upcoming?
Just leadership, a guy who others can look at as an example as how to act and how to play. I mean, the first game we lost actually ended up losing. So we just got to be able to finish out games. And I mean, it's early, it's summer. So just being able to practice finishing out games for the season and stuff.
So you averaged 11.5 points. You're the second leading scorer on the team, 2 rebounds, a steal, and half a block. What steps have you taken in your personal game that you hope benefit you and the guys around you going into next season?
I've just been in the gym a lot, so trying to improve my athleticism, being able to get to the rim more. I was mainly a catch and shoot 3-point guy last year. Just trying to score at all 3 levels, working on the mid range and getting to the basket more, and then obviously staying consistent with my 3-point shot. So, yeah.
Yeah, you got a smooth jumper. I've been watching tape on you, and I mean you're able to knock it down really from anywhere. It seems like. You talked about it's kind of nerve-wracking maybe being in front of all those coaches from around the country, different colleges everywhere. If you did get any looks, did you have any conversations with any certain coaches from different schools?
Yeah, I talked to a couple different schools, and a couple reached out to me just after the tournament and stuff. So that was pretty cool. Augustana, they're a D3 out. I'm not sure where they're located. And then College, and then a couple other D2s.
Yes, so man. Well, you guys had a rocky season. You finished 15-11, 7-3 in your division. What type of season? I know it's early. I mean, it's freaking June, but what type of season? With the guys that are going to be coming back from last year and some new additions that we're going to get into in a bit. Are you hoping to have? Is there certain teams you're wanting to beat as a senior? Just tell me maybe some of your thoughts like that.
I mean, obviously, the long road goal is to make it deep in the playoffs. Like, you can talk about a state championship right now, but right now, honestly, our team's focused on day-to-day getting better. I don't know if you saw, we have a whole new coach. Our coach last year got fired, so we have a whole new coaching staff. Yeah, so we're kind of starting off brand new, but yeah, right now, just we're building up our chemistry, trying to get better day to day.
Yeah, and I mean, I talked a little bit about additions. So of course, Eddie House's twins coming in. I mean, their older brother Jalen, who's my age, he played at Shadow Mountain and destroyed everybody for the years he was there. They were pretty. It's kind of weird to say highly wanted as an 8th grader. It's kind of weird saying that now. But what are you thinking they're going to bring to the table along with you and guys like Ryan?
No, man, they've came in and made an immediate impact. They're great basketball players. They've proven that they can play at the varsity level from their young age right now. So, and they've done that so far.
Yeah,
so I'm excited to play with them.
I mean, guys, when I was a freshman in high school, that made an impact. Josh Green, when he went to Mountain Ridge, it was way before he was at Hillcrest and even IMG. But you see what his brother did, and even like Javon Blackshear, Jalen's teammate there, what they did, and then Shamar Morrow a couple of years later. It's interesting to see how like wanted all these guys are at such a young level. You know, Koa Pete, I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah.
I got to broadcast them play Chandler last season, and I walked past them and I was like, holy crap. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's crazy to me. Like, I'm 6 feet. I'm like a pretty normal height dude.
Yeah.
But seeing a 14-year-old that's 6'8", it's
Yeah.
freaking ridiculous to me.
It's a grown
But
man. Like,
so you guys have been playing a lot of summer tournaments, summer showcases. You and Ryan Ginsburg combined for 60 points in one game. You know, with the leadership between you guys, how good is the bond between you two going to help benefit, you know, the guys around you this season?
yeah, me and Ryan we go way back. That's been my best friend since the start of high school. So obviously our chemistry is unmatched on the court right now. And just trying that not trying to make it like, oh, it's just us two, like obviously like trying to move the ball and stuff. And like we're working on getting closer with the rest of the guys and stuff like that. And we've been playing well so far with everybody.
How many years of varsity have you played? Was it all four, all three, or what was it for you?
So as a freshman, I was on JV, and then so the last 3 years I played varsity.
Okay, cool. So you kind of been through it all. I mean, I know you guys haven't had the best of seasons, you know,
Yeah,
but of course, beating Shap, I'm not gonna lie to you. So the first time I came around watching you play, timeout tapes released back in the Hall of Fame showcase, you
yeah.
against Shap. I want to
That
talk about
game was.
that.
Oh my.
So for me, I'm like, there hasn't really been a lot of good basketball in Scottsdale in the last couple
Yeah,
of years. I mean, I know you got like the teams out in Chandler when Marvin Bagley was at Corona and Tempe, and then Shadow Mountain, of course. But like
yeah,
teams like you guys, Chap. I mean, even Notre Dame Prep and Scottsdale Christian. I mean, I know SCA's kind of killed it in the 2A and 3A states, but watching that game, you could see like the competitiveness between you two guys, of course, or between the you two teams. Of course, the rivalry of schools goes deep and for years, but maybe
yeah,
take me back to what that game was like. I mean, it was a packed gym. It's probably the most
yeah.
packed gym I've seen for a high school basketball game here. But take me through your thoughts of leading up the days leading up to that game.
Nah, like just at school, like guys, like we'll see teammates in the hallways. Guys, just you could see them smiling, getting anxious for the game and stuff. Like in the locker room, like everyone just getting the jitters out, like crazy feeling. And then running onto the floor, like just hearing the crowd roar, like that. I want to feel that feeling again. Like every guy is so hyped for it again this year. So
I want to
yeah,
take you back to a certain play. I don't know
okay.
the kid's name at all, but I'm pretty sure it was you or one of the other top guys from last year on your team got a steal, and one of you guys dished it out, and some white kid dunked it all over the center on shot. I don't know who the heck. I don't know who it was, but I like sat back in my
Cameron
chair.
Wood.
I'm like, what the hell just happened? And the place went nuts.
Cameron Wood, yeah, that's probably the bounce. He's pretty short, and his athleticism is crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't look that tall. He's probably what, like 6 foot, 6'1".
Like 5'10", 5'11", like crazy. But no, I swear to God, we were talking at school. He was like, dude, all I want out of this game is to catch a body in front of this whole and
And
he
they caught
got
it
it.
on the tallest guy on the team. And
Yeah.
I've watched that game back like probably 3 or 4 times now. But I was just like, what on earth? Because, you know, they kind of like, it seemed like they got a little bit ahead in the first half. You guys stormed back. But I mean, that was probably one of the biggest plays of the
Huge
weekend,
momentum plays.
especially because of, you know, it's that weekend is so centered around the big schools that come, you know,
Yeah.
like Oak Hill, Sierra Canyon was there. You know, I know AZ Compass Prep is here, but Compass Prep is a
Yeah.
powerhouse now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's keep going in this. So of course you got the house twins, you, Ryan. Is there anybody else people should be, you know, looking out for on this team that could be a sneaky good weapon, can shoot, pull it from mid range, clog the paint? Is there any other guys on your team you want people to look out for going into this season?
So we actually have another set of twins, the Parisis, Anthony and Vincent. So they're another set of twins, and they're both knockdown shooters, can handle the ball. But yeah, they're some good players too. They'll be really good for us off the bench.
So you've played with is it AZ Firestorm? Is that the club name? There's so many clubs now.
Yeah,
You
Firestorm.
okay, Firestorm. So you
Yeah.
guys on the Adidas circuit?
Um, so we were last year. We played in the 3SSB championships, and then this year we had a lot of switches like with players and stuff, just leaving and coming in and stuff. So we played Adidas Gold Gauntlet this year.
Okay. So you've been able to play, with some of the top talent around the state. I believe is it Andrew Camacho that's on your team too?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I think I played with it's either his cousin or his brother named Michael Camacho
Okay.
on the AZ Storm back in like 2014. But
Okay.
you got guys like him, and I'm sure a couple of others. How can you tell the difference between playing with your high school team versus club? Can you see like the intensity difference, like how guys get after and are really wanting to showcase their talents?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's just the different levels in athleticism, and like if I drive at like a Firestorm practice, I'm looking for someone to throw a lob to. Like
Yeah.
whereas like in at Desert Mountain, I'll look to like drop it off at the post or something, try to get an easy layup or something. But yeah, playing with guys like Cody Williams, True Washington, like just a different level of athleticism.
Yeah, Cody's a different breed when it comes.
He's been blowing up this summer. Shout out
Yeah,
Cody.
I just saw him get an offer from UCLA, which I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I got to broadcast Perry, so I got to see them kind of just dominate, and it's interesting. We're gonna have is it DeAndre Harrison? Yeah, DeAndre Harrison on. We're recording with him on Saturday, so I'm gonna be able to talk to him about that. But so you guys are in 5A. You're playing again. Like Shap is of course the biggest rival, but I mean like Sunrise Mountain, Centennial, McClintock, Gilbert. Is there any teams you're eyeing, any guys you're eyeing to go up against going into even for the rest of the summer?
For sure. Obviously Shap, like you said, Notre Dame is going to be a pretty good game just on a personal level for me. I know some people over there, so that'll be a pretty hyped up game. And then over at Gilbert, so me, the house twins, and then Gilbert's point guard Isaiah Bronson, we all work out together. So
Okay.
just like on a trash talk base, we'll be hyped up for that game too. So Gilbert, we played Millennium yesterday, got a win against them, so that'll be a good game too. It was a pretty intense game there.
So when I didn't even make my freshman basketball team. I decided to start doing this. I knew I had to do this stuff if I wanted to make it anywhere, because I just knew I wasn't going to make it to the NBA. But
I got you.
It seems though like nowadays a lot of you guys are pretty like well connected with each other, like hang out on weekends. It seems a lot more like a lot of you are friends besides like really like kind of hating each other and wanting to go after each other. Would that be kind of correct, or what? How do you see it from your eyes, of course, being in the mix with a lot of these top recruits?
I mean, a lot of guys like know each other, but like once on the court, it's like you're not friends with them anymore. Like it's still definitely competitive and stuff. Like I don't want to like off the court, there's no beef unless something happens during the game. But on the court, like it's kill mode. Like you're going at the guy in front of you, no matter who it is.
Yeah. So with you coming in as a senior, you're a bigger guard, 6'3", 180. What type of leadership are you trying to bring to the young guys like the house twins? Coming in, they're probably going to be guys that teams go after because of just their name in general. So if you've had conversation, what kind of conversations have you had with them to kind of handle the pressure? This is what to do in this type of situation. If your double team's coming, don't just chuck up a three, like look for the open man, stuff like that. But like, what kind of conversations have you had with guys like them and then some of the younger guys on your team?
Just staying calm and collected in like bigger games and stuff, like letting them know that there's going to be like high intensity games, and like keeping your heads, not talking to refs, not going off on teammates, stuff like that. Just like telling them the importance of keeping their heads is super important, stuff like that. and also leading by example. Bad call gets called, just walk away from it. You don't need to say anything to the refs and stuff. So yeah.
How many times have you had a tech?
This year or ever?
Just ever. I don't know. In club, varsity.
I think like once in club. I don't think I've ever got one in high school. I'm not a
Not a big
super
talker.
emotional going on the court. Not even that. I just like to keep my head like stay calm the whole game.
So with some of the
But
guys you've been able to play with and then against, in club, I know what's the gym out in like Gilbert or whatever that everyone go Inspire Courts. Is that it?
yeah,
So like being in those like tense areas, who are some of the biggest like trash talkers you've had to play against that just like won't shut up during the entire game?
against KJ Perry, I played with him and against him. He's a talker. Do you know who Bryce Ford is?
What school does he go to?
Over at Pinnacle. I'm pretty close to him too, but once we get on the court, he's talking the whole game for sure.
It's just so interesting to me because like high school, like we can go over some of your stats in a second too. It's very up and down. Like you could have a game where you got 25 and then the next game you only score 9. Like I was looking at some of your stats before, you had highs of 26, 29, 22, and 20, but then you had some rough stretches of like 5, 4. But that's also going up against tougher competition and the team knowing how to like get in your open, like in your bad spots and kind of pressure the things, you might not excel at that time. But, it's interesting to see how much younger kids are like reacting to bad calls. It didn't used to happen that much, but I feel like, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Seeing how like guys in the NBA, it's just like every bad call, it's just like talk, 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 screaming at them. Do you see a difference now in how kids react to certain calls on them?
I mean, my team personally, so this new coach that came in, he made a punishment. So we had this conditioning workout called it's just pushing towels. So you have 25 towels up and back, and if you get a technical, if you get and that's if you ever I don't know if you've ever pushed a towel, but that's an insane amount. Like doing 2, your legs are dead. So 25 is crazy. Kalik actually had to do 25 after this past weekend, but guys that from last year that were like crazy hotheads have completely shut up. I haven't seen them talk to the ref once with this new punishment. So that's just my team personally. But you were asking about like what I think other guys like if I've seen a difference.
Just like I covered a game and I forget the schools, but it was way out in like Chandler. And this one kid, he was a new transfer from Chicago. I totally forget his name, but he was talking to the crowd the entire time. But he was also like reacting to the ref about everything. And I'm just like, first if you get 2 calls early, I get that. But it's like when you're still reaching in and you're on your 4th foul, like it's just different. But have you seen anything like that against guys you've gone against that are just like constantly complaining about certain things?
I mean, if I'm going against the guy who's complaining a bunch, I'm trying to draw fouls against him the rest of the game. Like
Yeah.
just because I know I'm probably gonna get that call. The ref probably already doesn't have a good relationship with them. He's looking for a foul to call on that guy personally. So I'm going at that guy specifically.
So you've been able to play like high intensity club and then of course 5A varsity. You talk about defense, like you're going to draw that foul immediately on that guy if he's the hothead. What are the differences defensively that you see between varsity basketball and then AAU against guys from around the country?
I mean, AAU is kind of known as like they're not like the defensive rotations are worse. Like with high school, like it's more structured, like rotations are better and stuff. And like, but like playing in these high intensity AAU games, like guys are definitely going at you, like pressuring you because like they're working for a scholarship as well. So AAU, like it depends how high intensity the game is, but They're definitely the same sometimes, like with high school and AAU.
Does it seem more like a selfish type of like offense for AAU? Because you just talked about how like guys are wanting that college scholarship too, which I 100% get and 100% want for all of you guys. That's why I've started this thing about talking to you guys. But does AAU seem more selfish, guys trying to like be the next star to get that look on social media to be able to, get from a top school or whatever? But do you just see more, is it more selfish now, or is it kind of more team oriented basketball?
I mean, it's a variety of both. I've played with both. I think guys who realize that coaches aren't looking for a guy who's going to come in their program and average 20. I mean,
Yeah.
like, let's say you go and drop 30 points in an AAU game, but have 0 assists, have 2 turnovers. Like, that's not going to be too appealing to a coach. Like, I feel like I've realized that, like, distributing the ball, getting your teammates involved while also showing that you can score the ball too, like, that's going to be the most effective for coaches looking and stuff. So, but yeah, I've played with both. I think AAU's gotten better just with team ball and stuff for sure.
Yeah, it seemed for a while, of course, you'll know this guy like Mikey Williams.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he kind of screwed up what AAU was for a bit. He's a great talent, but I mean, he's like just dunking on everything. And I'm just like, he's got like 2 full sleeve tattoos and he's like 17. I'm like, dude, I'm 21 and I don't even have one. So
Yeah.
it's just, but you talked about new coach coming in, kind of setting a new standard, kind of, what you kind of saw with Monty and the Suns. You were under that coach before. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. And then of course the new one now. What are the differences you've seen in the two, maybe agendas offensively, defensively, and just kind of leadership wise as well?
So last year we were very, very set oriented. Come down, run a set every time. Well, this year we're playing super fast pace. Our coach, I want to say our coach trusts us more. So
Yeah.
we're getting the ball out, we're going drive, baseline, kick, trying to find a quick shot, but like also a smart shot. So this year just more freedom, but last year we were definitely more set oriented. And then leadership wise, um, I don't know. They're both higher energy. They were both higher energy guys. Yeah, but both great coaches.
Do you see, maybe the difference it's made for you guys? You finished 15-11, 7-3 in your division last year, which is still a solid record. I mean, finishing over 500 in high school basketball is extremely difficult. But, since administration in your school made that change, what do you prefer? The high energy, fast paced, like grab, rebound, and go, or do you like the more set based, pass it to a few guys, get the backdoor screen, and go for the easy layup or the three?
Definitely what we had this year, just playing with freedom, fast pace, being able to showcase your skill set a little bit while also playing as a team. Like this year, last year, guys were worried about like if they were taking the right shots or not, and like whether they were doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Well, this year, I think guys are just being able to play freely and more comfortable and more confident in their own
Yeah.
game.
So
Yeah, just more comfort all around this year.
100%. I'm gonna have to come to a couple of your guys' games because your school is literally up the street from me. But
For sure.
so you're in 5A. Oh, what is the question I was even gonna ask? Oh, yeah. So you've seen, kind of the changes in what high school basketball has become, for a while, and it kind of still is. They wanted the high school legend, and then all the top recruits kind of started to go towards, the prep school where everybody else is going. And it was very top heavy. Even like when Lonzo, LaMelo, and LiAngelo were in school, they were still looked at as a powerhouse, not necessarily a high school in California. Have you seen the differences in high school basketball here? Because I feel like it's gotten a lot better in the last 2 or 3 years. It's not just Hillcrest Prep, Compass Prep, and whatever. Like, what is there, like PHH Prep or whatever?
Yeah, Powerhouse Prep.
So, but you see now, thankfully, Koa stayed at Perry. If he went to a prep school, I would have been kind of pissed about that. But have you seen the change in what high school basketball has become?
When you say better, what do you mean by that? Just
more competitive on like a public school range, because like everybody and their mother was like transferring to this school and teaming up. And I was just like, it kind of sucks. Like, it's just going to have these blowout games by 70. It's not going to be that fun. But at least for the next couple of years, there's a lot of talent spread out around the state. And that's my plan, is to help you guys get the exposure you need. But how much do you love that it's become way more competitive around not just, a few schools and it's top heavy? It's kind of spread out throughout the valley.
For sure. You got Brophy, Millennium, like a bunch of schools that are just got a lot of talent. And I mean, it's exciting. Like, just with the new open division, like we could end up playing some 6A teams, 4A teams. Like, it's exciting for sure. And like, I agree with you. Like, just like the environment of high school and like everyone from the crowd knowing the players and stuff, and like just big games like that. Like, I love games like that. Whereas like prep, there's not really those high school vibe like to it.
Yeah,
so yeah, I'm excited about it.
You talked about open division. I'm not really like familiar with it. Could you maybe describe for the listeners what this open division is bringing to Arizona?
So I'm not 100% sure on the exact rules, but it's going to be something like the top 7 or 8 teams from 4A, 5A, 6A are all going to go to open. I'm not sure if they're going to go that deep into 3A and 2A schools, but I know that the top teams in 5A, 6A, and 4A will all go into the open. And then it's going to be something like, if you lose your first game in the open division, you can go back and still try to win, let's say, your 4A state championship. And then there'll also be an open state champion as well.
So right here, it says on Monday, David Hines, the Arizona Interscholastic Association's executive director, presented a plan some AIA coaches and the Arizona Basketball Coaches Association devised to determine which 8 teams will open the The plan calls for the 8 highest power rated teams in each of the 4, 5, and 6A conferences, and 8 at-large teams to be placed in the 32 team bracket after the regular season. That's really exciting because all y'all need now is a shot clock. I freaking hated how much those guys held the ball.
There is a shot clock this year.
Oh, they brought it finally?
Yeah, there's a 35-second shot clock this year.
Thank God, because I'd be broadcasting games and guys be holding the ball for like a minute or two. I'm like, y'all gonna pass the ball around.
You got nothing to say.
One of my last questions for you, with AAU going strong, a lot of summer classics, summer tournaments still going on because it's the middle of June. Where could guys and people and coaches, if they're listening, come and watch you play for the rest of the summer?
So my AAU team is going to be playing in North Carolina South Carolina, and then I think we have a couple more tournaments in California. But yeah, so the 3SSB championships, and then I have a couple more just high school ball games the rest of this week. But yeah, and then my schedules is posted somewhere on my Instagram, something like that.
Okay, sick. Before we get out of here, I want to talk to you about a little bit of NBA. First off, who's your team? Just so I can know that.
I'm originally from Denver, but I'm not a crazy Nuggets fan. I like Jason Tatum a lot, so I was kind of disappointed about the Celtics loss. But right now, I'm kind of a Celtics guy.
Okay, cool. So I'm sure you saw Jeremy Grant went to the Blazers in a trade for literally like 5 cents on the dollar. Who are you? You got the draft coming up too, because Portland didn't have to give up the number 7 pick for Grant, which I thought they would have had to do. Who are you most excited about that's getting drafted tomorrow night?
So Cody Williams' brother, Jalen Williams, he's a top 20 pick, and then Ty Washington as well. He was at a bunch of our practices, so he's coached me up a bunch of times just during games and stuff. So just being able to like see them, like guys that you're personal with, like seeing them about to get drafted, that's crazy.
Yeah. I tried reaching out to Jalen and he hasn't responded yet. So, but Okay, so that leads me into another question then. So in recent years, of course, DA and Marvin Bagley, Arizona legends in high school here. Ty killed it at Compass Prep last year. Jalen, of course, Cody's older brother, who was a pretty solid high school basketball player here. And then you got even Shaden Sharp, who played at Dream City. The certain, or I guess the certain jump that players from Arizona have taken to now being, top college players, top NBA players, has that generated a sort of, boost of confidence of guys around this city to say, hey, I can make it to the next level now. I don't have to be at Montverde, IMG, Oak Hill. Like, I can actually make it and still live in my hometown and be with my friends.
For sure. I mean, just having it like having Ty at like most of your practices, like it makes it feel like so close. Like my guy Ryan, he played against Ty like 3 years ago. Like, that's crazy to me. Now he's about to go to the league. So stuff like that, for sure. It's definitely like a confidence booster, like just more motivation that like yeah, you can do this, like stuff like that.
Ty's brother True is a baller too. I got to cover one of his games and he had like 35 points in the game. I was like, holy crap. But before we go, you're in my opinion, you're one of the best players in 5A. Who are some other guys people should look out for around even your division or even in 6A that people should really watch out for coming out of Arizona for the next year or two?
Obviously you got guys like Cody. He's gonna blow up even more. Armand Mahdi from Brophy.
Yeah.
He can hoop. That's one of my guys. Who else? You got KJ and EJ from McClintock, DB from McClintock as well. Those guys can all hoop. Ryan on my team, he's an underrated guy. Some guys don't think he can play. He's a very good basketball player, good point guard, can distribute the ball. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing guys.
Well, Koa.
Yeah, for sure.
True Washington.
Yeah, you got True. Andrew Camacho, Peoria.
Yeah, that kid's a bucket.
All killers.
But well, Zach, thanks for coming on. Before we leave, do you got anything to shout out where people can find you, social wise and stuff like that?
You got my Instagram at Zach.Anderson. And then just thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, of course.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, anytime you want to come back on, talk hoop, talk what's going on in your guys' season when it really starts coming around December. Well, I'll definitely have you on, man. But appreciate you coming on, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You as well.